If you haven't watched the previous parts of Farah's story, watch them first. In the previous parts of the story, we saw how our hero's journey began, and how he transformed from a weak, struggling young man into a fierce beast with legendary shadow powers. We also saw him seize the power of Igris and his knights, their obedience to his commands, and the thrilling events in the cave. So, what will he do now that he has gained these powers? And what will happen with the hunters inside the magical dungeons? That's what we're about to find out now with the second season. So, send blessings upon the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Let's continue the rest of the story after he returns to his house and comes out of the last dungeon. He goes home exhausted and sleeps, but he wakes up to a phone call from his little sister, telling him that he has to come to school today because the principal wants to see him. The guy actually goes to her, all dressed up and looking sharp, and his sister literally doesn't recognize him. She says, "Wow, what's with all this handsomeness? Do you have a girlfriend, or should I get you a marriage proposal?" Of course, he playfully pinches his sister's cheeks, and it's just hilarious. All the girls were also amazed by his style and good looks, and they were really jealous of his sister for walking with him. Anyway, he then goes to the principal and asks her why she wants to see him. The principal gets straight to the point and tells him, "I want to talk to you because of your sister. Right now, she's one of the smartest and most talented students in the school, and her level and talent are constantly improving." He replies, "Well, that sounds good. So what's the problem? I don't understand anything." The principal said, "The problem is what's coming next. So with your sister's talent, her abilities might awaken and she could become an adventurer. And if that happens, would you be okay with her becoming an adventurer and putting herself in danger?" Sonia replied, "Of course not. I wouldn't be okay with that." The principal said, "That's a very good answer. I share your opinion, and that's why I want to ask for your help with something, especially since you're a hunter of such a high rank and you think the same way I do." She actually tells him what she wants. After that, the guy leaves and runs into this girl in front of the school, and he greets her. When the girl sees him, she recognizes him right away because she had gone on an adventure with him before. She says to him, "So, what do you want?" Sonia then shows her a picture of himself and his sister and says, "Look, miss, the principal talked to me because of you. And since you're an adventurer of such a high rank, that's why I'm going to tell you something." The girl immediately says to him, "Look, if you're going to tell me to stop being a hunter and go back to school, then it's better you don't say anything so we don't waste each other's time and burn gas for nothing." He replied, "And who told you I was going to say that? Right now I'm about to enter one of the gates, and I want you to come with me so we can clear it." Of course, his real intention is that when he takes her there and she sees the dangers and the monsters, she'll get scared and won't want to be an adventurer anymore. Meanwhile, at the same time, and specifically at the airport, the hunter arrives in Korea. Yes, that's the brother of the hunter who was killed. He's come here specifically to investigate and kill the one responsible. His assistant meets him at the airport asking what he plans to do. Ignoring him, he asks, "Do I really have to tell you what I'm going to do or what? Don't get ahead of yourself, come on." And after that, he just continued on his way as if he didn't even see him. Then we move on to Song. The guy arrives at the gate he's supposed to enter. He's here at the request of the manager, who feels that there's something off about this cave and has a bad feeling about it. They're accompanied by a fully equipped team from the White Tiger Guild, as well as a very self-confident person from the elite class. As soon as Song sees this commotion, he thinks to himself, "We're here just to scare the girl so she won't come back again. So why are all these people going to clear a 4th-class gate? Anyway, let's just keep going and get it over with." Of course, he greets the manager and his assistant and then heads into the cave, which they haven't even managed to get through the entrance of yet. Song feels a very strange panic, something he's never experienced before. The color of the gate also turns red, and the guy quickly reacts, telling everyone standing there to call for backup immediately. This gate is of S rank, which is the most dangerous type of gate in the world. Suddenly, the group finds themselves transported inside an icy place, surrounded from all sides, and no one knows where they are or what's going on. Suddenly, someone dies from an ice arrow. The girl was about to get hit too, but Sung catches the arrow with his hand and saves her. After that, they look over at the tree and spot them. Yes, it's the ice goblins hiding in the tree, and they want to finish them off. Now that they've been discovered, the enemies are gathering the rest, and the situation is extremely dire. They have to act as quickly as possible. And indeed, at that moment, Kim, the adventurer of rank A, tells them the following. He says that time in the outside world passes differently from here. That's why we have to survive and hold out for as long as possible so we can wait for reinforcements. But trying to save the whole team with all the problems we have is impossible. So, we'll split into 2 teams. One team will stay with me and I'll protect them, and the other team will hide far away from me until the cave barrier is lifted. Of course, everyone wanted to go with him, but the guy refused them, telling them, "Anyone below this rank, I won't take with me. Only the weak should leave here, especially those of rank A." He was referring to the girl with him. Meanwhile, a girl of rank A moves away from him and says, "I'll join the other team as well." The guy then tells her, "Do as you wish," and then they go their separate ways. And this girl, my friend, had her Songo moment when she caught the arrow that even Kim couldn't see. She thinks to herself, "You must be hiding your true strength, and that's why I chose you." Meanwhile, outside the gate, the manager calls the head of the White Tiger Guild to inform him of what happened. He tells him, the gate that was supposed to be of this rank changed after the team entered. It became an S rank gate. And that means everyone inside is as good as dead. He quickly gets into his car and heads to the location to try to break the gate and go in. But of course he can't do it because if a gate's rank changes, there's no way to open it again unless the boss inside is defeated or a miracle miracle happens. And of course, Baeki was very upset. He then asks the manager if anyone has entered the gate, and the manager tells him that only Kim has, but of what rank. But there's someone I've been watching for a while named Sung. I think he made another deal and will be able to do something inside. Baeki then mulls it over for a bit and says, alright. At the same time, he arrives at the place. And yes, he's here to chase after Sung and wants to finish him off. As soon as Beck sees him, he says, "Where are you going, sir? This gate is closed and you won't be able to get in at all. Or are you here looking for someone specific or what?" Wangji says to him, "Yes, I'm here to kill that dog, Sung." It's his luck that the gate closed and he's going to fight inside it. His mother must have prayed for him, so I wouldn't kill him. Whatever, it's not a problem for me. At that time, the group went to a place deep in the forest to escape from the ice genie. But on the other hand, this place is full of Seljuk bears and their marks are visible on that tree. Of course, everyone was worried. Even the girl of the Bay rank was anxious and asked him why he chose this forest. The boy told her that the forest only had bears and the ice genie wasn't there. So we only have to worry about one enemy and we can take it down. Anyway, it looks cold, so let's warm up. He pulls out jackets for them from his storage box. The kids were amazed. How do you have that skill when it's not even available in the Hunter's Hall? Who exactly are you, Mr. Sung? At that moment, the boy goes over to the girl he brought with him, pats her on the shoulder and says, "I'm the one who brought you in here and I'll be the one to get you out, so don't worry about anything. But in return, I don't want any of you to ask me any questions or inquire about anything." Everyone agrees and says, alright, but then they all hear the sound of a giant bear attacking them and all the kids get scared and back away. But Sung reassures them and says, "Don't worry, I'll handle it." And indeed, he takes down all the bears that attack them and everyone stands there stunned by the sheer strength he displays. Not only that, but they also made a fire and sat down to eat the meat of the monsters. It was just perfect, like a feast or a break. Anyway, moving on. At the same time, Kim and his team also encountered some of those bears. Honestly, Kim was amazing. He went on a rampage, mercilessly taking down all the bears, fighting and killing every monster in his way, but he has no idea what's waiting for him. Yeah, he doesn't know that the Ice Genie has already found out his location and is now targeting everyone with him. They keep attacking and killing everyone who's with him. And the guy can't do anything about it. He watches them die in front of him, one after another. And still, he can't save them. Then that genie guy shows up at the place, and when he sees them, he gets scared and decides to run deeper into the forest like a coward, getting a taste of his own medicine. Looks like he's completely lost his confidence now, my friend. At the same time, Song had left his team and headed to the monster's lair. Yeah, he got bored of killing bears that didn't level him up, so he decided to go to the bear cave to wipe them all out. And while he's at it, he summons his shadow army to see how they do in battle. Sure enough, the guy summons the soldiers and they start fighting. Right now, they're killing the small bears and blocking their way, and none of them have fallen yet. But meanwhile, the bear boss comes out of the cave. And yes, the most dangerous monster in that cave comes out and wipes out all the shadow soldiers in seconds. When he sees it, he realizes just how strong it is, then says to Igris, "Alright hero, it's your turn." Indeed, the monster starts the attack and the bear tries to charge at him, but it's over. He's lost his composure. Igris dodges all his attacks, slashes into him, and literally puts on a show. Even the onlookers are amazed by the sheer power on display. The bear can't believe his eyes. His arm was also severed, his body battered, and he tries to attack again, but that's it. His head goes flying off. And yes, Igris is the victor in the fight. He literally can't believe his eyes and thinks to himself, if in our battle he hadn't thrown away his sword, I'm sure I would have been the one to lose. Looks like I still haven't reached his full strength yet. Well done, beast. You can rest now. After that, Sung goes to the corpses of the bears he killed to make them his followers. He actually turns them, and the whole scene is just epic, even in its sadness. Meanwhile, and specifically outside the gate, Dansk got really angry because the gate was closed. And of course, that means he won't be able to kill Sung, so he decides to leave the place since there's no point in staying. But then he gets really surprised. Yeah, how did that guy join your guild in the dungeon when he wasn't even registered in it in the first place? The manager tells him it's just because he's an acquaintance, nothing more, and that he just asked to take a look at her at the time. Ang replies, alright, but Boom grabs him by the neck and says, "Do you really think I'm going to believe what you're saying? Tell me, why did he come in?" When Bayek sees him, he gets angry and activates his powers on him, telling him, "This guy is from my guild, take your hand off him or I'll break it." He gets angry at what he says and replies, "Alright, looks like you want to die." Then both of them stupidly charge at each other, but suddenly the assistant stops their attack and tells them a fight between two S-rank members would destroy the place and hurt a lot of people. You have to stop fighting. Indeed, both of them stop, though they're still very angry. After that, Makan comes and makes him leave, saying, "He's going to die in there anyway, so it doesn't matter to us." Then he leaves the place completely, and at the same time, someone else is entering the cave. Kim had reached the spot where the bears' corpses were. He couldn't believe his eyes. Yes, he couldn't believe how all these bears had been killed. He says, "The ice spirit must be here." So he quickly leaves and runs out of the place into the forest. He thinks to himself, "It's so cold, I'm hungry and I can't move. By now, everyone must be dead and I'm the only one left." He's still looking ahead and then comes the surprise. all the members of the group he left behind are sitting, eating, have a fire going, and are even wearing jackets. The guy can't believe his eyes and says, "How is this possible? How are these weaklings still alive and even eating? Yeah, for sure they hid the supplies from us so we'd die and left us alone. I have to get revenge on them and kill them all." He gets really angry, yells at them and says, "I have to finish you off. Yeah, you hid the supplies and food from the team, and you have to die as soon as possible." He gets closer to them, about to hit them, and then boom! A loud shout approaches. Yeah, Sonya is finally there and says to him, "Don't blame others for your mistakes or try to justify your actions, you coward." He then turns around and says to them, "There's no point in hiding yourselves. Your energy is completely obvious." It turns out the Ice Genie was actually following that guy, trailing him to lead them to the other's location. They start talking to Sonya, mocking him, and realize they're about to kill them. But then Sonya responds to them too, and everyone is surprised. Yeah, how do you even know how to speak the language of these monsters? Sonya thinks to himself, "It must be because of the system. It's definitely what made me understand what they're saying, but never mind. Anyway, what do you guys want?" The leader of the genies says to Sonya, "It's very simple. My subordinate here told me he wants to have a one-on-one duel with you, since you managed to block his arrow the first time." And boom, just a second ago, Sonya was charging at him, his mind racing, saying, "So, what now?" Then he attacks the leader as well and kills his horse. The leader gets really excited and says to him, "Well done. I never imagined that this weak group would have someone as entertaining as you. But seriously, why are you hanging out with these humans when you're not like them?" Sonya is shocked and says, "I don't understand. What do you mean?" The leader replies, "We monsters always have this voice in our heads urging us to kill humans. But that voice doesn't tell us to kill you, so just get out of our way and hand over what you have, and we won't do anything to you." At that moment, Sungjo realizes that everything happening to him is because of his abilities. He then tells the monster, "No, I won't abandon anyone and I'll kill all of you." The Ice Genie laughs and mocks him, since he's alone and they're many. Besides, he's stronger than him anyway and will kill him. At that moment, Sungja also laughs and says, "Alright, if it's about numbers, I won't lose in that regard." Suddenly, Sungja's soldiers fill the place, along with the bears, literally overwhelming the area. All the hunters are standing there, shocked and unable to believe what they're seeing. What is this overwhelming power? The ice has come to me. And also, when he sees soldiers, he gets excited and his followers start the fight. The battle between the two really heats up and everyone is fighting everywhere. The hunters were also terrified and said, "Let's get out of here quickly. This isn't our place." 3 of the ice creatures spot them and shoot arrows at them, but at an insane speed, he catches their arrows and finishes them off in the blink of an eye. His soldiers are also relentlessly crushing the Jin, showing no mercy to anyone. But the leader of those monsters was truly terrifying. His abilities and speed were deadly and Seng alone could never kill him. Even if he faced him together with Grez, it would still be difficult to defeat him. Indeed, the fight between Seng and the monster begins, and both of them literally charge at each other at insane speed. Seng leaps up and comes down on the monster with all his might, but the monster dodges the attack. He steps on the weapon. The guy immediately switches the weapon to his other hand and attacks him. The monster notices and blocks the attack with his other dagger. He was just about to kill him, but the monster, with incredible speed, dodges that attack too and kicks him away, thinking he's now in control and mocking him. But boom, he gets tricked. A fiery attack comes down on the monster from above, rattling him. Yeah, did you really think my attack would end just like that? We're really tough at this point. Kim finally comes to and sees Seng in front of him. He remembers when he hit him and gets really angry, saying, "How did I let that weakling hit me? I have to finish him off." He grabs his sword and charges at Seng, looking like he's about to kill him. At the same time, the monster leader regained consciousness and charged at Seng in a rage, shouting that he would finish him off. As both closed in, Agrez suddenly appeared on the scene, effectively blinding the monster with a thick ice barrier. He then swiftly finishes off the approaching Kim with a single powerful blow. Seng and Hakman just summoned his shadow and boom, he strikes the monster with it, knocking it away. Yes, Seng has finally killed Kim and taken control of him, saying, "I knew you would try to do that. Anyway, from now on, your name is Iron. Come on, because you're going to help me fight." He actually uses his power on the monster and provokes it. The monster attacks him recklessly and the other one blocks it. The boss attacks them afterwards, but the other one still stands firm and doesn't let him kill him. At that moment, the monster boss says, "You destroyed my shoulder. Now all 3 of you come at me together." Seng laughs, and then they all charge at him. The 3 of them start beating up the monster, not giving him any chance at all. Iron also uses his roar and draws the monster's attention. The monster flies at them, thinking he's finally killed him. He was soaring and celebrating, but suddenly someone stabs him in the back with a dagger. But the monster was extremely fast and managed to dodge the fatal blow. After that, he retreated to a distance. At that moment, the hunters were standing there watching the scene, unable to believe their eyes. They noticed how he is overpowering these monsters, and his soldiers had already finished off all the Jin. Only the boss was left. That's it. The boss himself didn't know, and thought that they were the ones who had won the fight. But he mocks him and tells him the truth. When the monster finds out, he gets furious and charges at him to kill him right away, throwing his dagger into the air. The monster dodges, thinking he avoided the attack, but then, boom, the dagger comes back again and breaks his weapon from underground. He also rises up and pins him in place, magic from afar with fire. Oh, what a move, artist. But imagine, after all that beating, you think the monster is going to die, my friend. No way, the monster gets even angrier and is about to go on a rampage, but boom, Sang, using his stealth skills, appears beside him and says, "You've already lost." The monster grabs his hand and is about to attack him. Suddenly he appears again and smashes the monster's head with his hammer, grinding it in. Yes, that's it. The boss is dead. His level goes up and no one can believe what they're seeing. Aaron, after he killed the monster, kept hitting it again and again, and you could tell he was a bit unhinged, my friend. Anyway, after that, he goes to the team to reassure them and tell them that the cave is finally over. Exactly 7 days have passed, which means only 7 hours have passed in the real world. The hunters, after realizing they're finally getting out, are overjoyed and can't believe it. The gate finally appears and the guys are about to leave. But of course, he wanted to go to the corpse of the monster boss to summon him, gain his power, and make him one of his shadows. Meanwhile, at the same time, Beck was standing there looking upset. And suddenly, the gate opened. Yeah, he was completely shocked and couldn't believe his eyes. He says, "It must have been Kim who did it. I'm sure you have that power, hero." He looks at the people coming out but can't find Kim. No, instead he sees Parko, that guy, and also the girl with him coming out. When the principal sees him, he gets really happy and excited. You can tell he was the one waiting for him to come back the most, my friend. Anyway, when he came out, he was kind of angry. He told the girl, "Come on, let me take you home." He actually starts walking away, but Beck asks him, "Where are you going? I have a few questions for you and you're not leaving until you answer them." At that moment, he gets annoyed by what he said and puts his hands down, then tells him, "Direct those questions to your union members. I'm not free for you." He gets angry at him and uses his strength to force an answer out of him. He tells him, "6 members of my union are missing. You're not leaving until I find out what happened at that time." His expression changes and he says, "As for the other 2, I'm the one who saved them. Isn't it your duty to thank me for that or what?" At that moment, Beck gets really frustrated and says, "You're right. Thank you for saving members of my union." After that, he leaves the place and Beck stays behind. At that moment, he asks the girl about what happened. She tells him everything. She says that after he defeated the boss, his mood changed and he became the way you saw him. After that, he says okay and tells her to get some rest. And then, as he was about to leave, he said, "I want you to recruit that guy into our guild no matter what. That guy isn't normal and it looks like he knows his worth, my friend." Anyway, at the same time, he takes the girl home, then leaves her and walks away. He then remembers what happened inside the cave when he tried to extract the boss's shadow, but after 3 tries, he failed and couldn't extract anything. And that's why he was upset and frustrated, just like you saw, my friend. Anyway, the next morning, the guy gets himself ready because he has an adventure today with that girl and Jin Woo, and they head out to the cave. And indeed, as soon as they arrive there, he immediately summons his shadow soldiers, and they get to work clearing the place. And of course, it was Jin Woo's first time seeing those monsters, so he asks about them. Naturally, the guy tries to hide the truth. Anyway, after they finish clearing out that cave, Jin Woo gets really upset and feels like he's no longer needed. Even the magic stones that the shadows used to bring him, they're now extracting themselves. He was really sad. At that moment, one of the soldiers tries to cheer him up, and honestly, the guy is hilarious. Anyway, with that cave done, Sung has now fulfilled the promise. He took out the 20 rank 3 monsters they agreed on. Now he doesn't really have any use for Sung anymore, and they're all sitting around eating, celebrating the completion of this achievement. The kid, of course, was really sad because Sung was about to leave him, but Sung reassures him, raises another glass with him and says, "Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you. You're my little brother now, Jin Woo." That word literally touched his heart and made him so happy. He was absolutely overjoyed. Anyway, after that, Sunji goes back to his house and says goodbye to his sister because he's heading to the Devil's Furnace dungeon. Yes, that's the tower he entered before and almost died in, and now he's going there to get the elixir that will heal his mother. He actually arrives there and opens the gate, goes straight inside, and a quest appears in front of him. First, you have to kill 10,000 monsters in order to be able to climb the tower. At this point, he's excited by the number and sets off to wreak havoc, but along the way, a document appears to show him the way, like a great light shining ahead. He's supposed to deliver this document there so he can climb the tower. At that moment, he summons the giant bear and rides it. There were a lot of monsters in his way, but it doesn't matter. This is the mighty tank bear, and it wipes out all the monsters and gets him there with ease. Meanwhile, in one of the caves, a group finds a human inside. They attack him, but he's not from the same country as the people who entered the cave. He asks them to take him back to his homeland. They actually capture him and lock him up in one of the prisons, and he calls someone from his own country to contact him. Yes, that's the call that reached Huang and made him return quickly and leave the place. And do you know who the man Huang is going to see is? My friend, that's Sung's father, our hero, who was imprisoned in a cave for 10 years and has just been found. Anyway, Huang immediately sits with him to interrogate him, then looks at his file to learn about his identity. Yes, he finds out that this is Sung's father, the one he wanted to kill, and he gets really angry. His murderous intent shows. The father notices this and asks him, "What do you want from my son?" Huang tells him, "I was going to kill him, but luckily for you, your son is dead and you're going to join him. But do you think he can do anything? No way. Sung's father grabs him, messes him up, and throws him aside, leaving his body battered. Everyone who saw it was shocked by what happened. How could the S-rank hunter be defeated so quickly? This is going to be a mess. Meanwhile, back with Sung, he had reached the 50th floor where the floor boss appeared. His name is Vulcan, and his marker is red, which means he's a tough monster. Sung struggles with him and could even be killed. Sung is still sizing him up when suddenly Vulcan charges at him at insane speed and hits him. Sung barely has time to react before more blows rain down, but he dodges them. Then using all his strength, Vulcan throws him far away. Sung gathers himself, but before he can recover, boom! Vulcan is on him again at lightning speed. It's over. What the hell? How is this guy so fast and strong? Sung quickly grabs Iron's shield to protect himself, but Vulcan keeps attacking relentlessly, showing no mercy. Sung can't take it anymore and starts thinking of a way to defeat this monster. He uses a bluff with his arm and throws the shield to unbalance Vulcan, then circles around quickly to strike at his neck. But Vulcan was ready for him. He knows that the only way to hurt him is at the neck, so he was prepared for it. He was about to finish him off, but Sung uses the ruler's hand skill and miraculously pulls himself away. He thinks to himself, I have to stop these crazy moves, or else I'll never be able to kill him. Exactly. He spots a house and an idea pops into his head. He runs over there. Vulcan sees him too and chases after him. He wants to kill him, but Sung shoots up to the top at an incredible speed, and the monster doesn't notice. He even slams him into the train. Smoke starts billowing out and fills the place. Sung and Akman take advantage of the smoke. He pulls out his second weapon. He jumps at the monster from its blind spot and lands a perfect hit on it. Yes! Sung finished off Vulcan. He defeated the level 50 boss and his power increased. His level is now absolutely amazing. He also obtained a piece of the World Tree, which is the first ingredient needed to cure his mother. Things are slowly starting to look up. Samara continues ascending all the way to the 75th floor. And there, he meets the boss. This time, the boss was alone. And when he saw his army, he was literally about to wet himself. He kept hiding until Samara went up to him and threatened him, saying, "You think that just because you hide, I won't know where you are? You're surprised by this army and these powers, right? Alright then, take the path of peace, you and Bomb." His mind is blown like, what are these powers, man? Give our brains a break. After he finishes off the boss, he also gets another piece for the cure. Now, there's only one boss left, the boss of the 100th floor. But Sung was completely exhausted. He'd eaten everything and they were done. So he decides to leave the tower this time and continue later. Especially since if he stays any longer, people will start to notice and there will be more talk. Anyway, Sung also chose the random reward box and a very black key appeared for him. Everything about it is unknown. Even the place it opens is listed as will appear when the conditions are met. Looks like we're going to see his determination, my friend. Meanwhile, at the same time in the outside world, the director and his assistant were searching everywhere for Sung to recruit him into their guild as well. After his father found out that he had cleared 20 dungeons of C rank all by himself, his father caught on and realized that Sung was the one behind all these incidents. After that, his father asked him to join their guild, otherwise he wouldn't acknowledge his achievement. It looks like everyone is going to be fighting over him, my friend. Anyway, after he returns from that gate, he discovers that he has now collected 2 of the ingredients for his mother's healing elixir, and there's only one left, which is with the boss of the 100th floor. That's why Sung decides to get stronger as quickly as possible and kill more monsters so he can get that elixir. But because in front of everyone, what is Sung's rank? He can't enter advanced and dangerous gates. Because of that, Sung decides to get his abilities re-evaluated so he can access those dungeons. So, the guy actually goes to the evaluation center, and things start to heat up there. There are a lot of scouts from all the guilds who are hunting for high-ranked hunters. And especially there, the assistant manager is present, and as soon as he sees Sung, he immediately calls Bayek to inform him about him. The guildmaster was also there, talking to the leader to find out the identity of the hunter who saved the reputation of the White Tiger Guild and took down the S-rank dungeon boss. They hadn't even started talking yet when suddenly they hear a loud commotion in the hall, so they rush over there immediately. And what happened, my friend, is that when Sung went in to be scanned and re-evaluated, the machine couldn't handle the amount of his energy and gave an error. Everyone watching had no idea what was going on anymore. The girl who was evaluating him went straight to her manager to find out what went wrong here. As soon as the manager arrives, he's shocked too and tells her it's not broken or anything. No, it's just that the hunter's magical power is beyond what the machine can handle. This means he's the 10th hunter in the country to reach S rank. Of course, everyone is shocked by this and all the hunters in the hall are stunned, with no one understanding what's happening. That's why the head of the guild arrives, and as soon as he sees him, he's literally shocked and thinks to himself, this must be the guy everyone in the hall is talking about. I have to recruit him into my guild as soon as possible. But Sung didn't even respond. He quickly disappears from the place before anyone else can approach him. And just as he's about to leave, the head looks out at the street and sees him. Yes, he sees the head of the White Tiger Guild arriving at the scene. He thinks to himself, his guild must be far away, and for him to come here himself running this fast, then this guy must be the one who entered the dungeon last time. Anyway, now that I know everything I wanted, that's it. He left them and walked away. Anyway, that's where our episode ends. If you liked it, don't forget to let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe too, man. Alright then, bye bye bye.